For people under the age of 50, colon cancer is the top cause of cancer death in men and the second top cause of death in women.
It's unbelievable. 68% of deaths from colon cancer could be prevented with screening. 68% of the deaths. And right now there's more than 20 million Americans who are eligible for screening, and less than 20% of them have been screened.
You know, we just can't ignore this disease, and we have to pay attention to our body so that we can make our doctors aware of the changes that may indicate that we have this deadly disease.
And this is what we hear from people. I'm too young to worry about colon cancer. My son Markham probably was thinking the same thing, but at 39, he was diagnosed with stage 4 metastasized colon cancer. He's 39. It's way under the average age of what
He was
you think.
actually 38.
He was 38.
Yeah.
You know, when I turned 50 was when I had my first colonoscopy, and then 55, and then 60. It's changing now, and we need to get younger people to pay attention to what's happening with their bodies. These early warning signs cannot be ignored.
The other thing people say is, you know, I feel fine. I'm sure whatever it is, it can't be serious, because no one really wants to talk about their poop.
Is that where we're going? Poop?
Well, I mean, you know, today...
You're right. I don't mean to laugh about it,
well,
but...
you shouldn't laugh, because, I mean, when you have a baby as a woman, it feels like all you talk about is... Did the baby poop? What color was the poop? Did the poop come up over the shoulders? Did the poop leak out of the diaper? You know, what is happening with the poop? We spend a lot of time focusing on that for very, very young people.
Right.
But really, if you're not in tune with what's happening with your body and with your poop, you're not really going to be able to indicate a warning sign.
So we are going to talk a lot today about poop. The other thing we hear from people is, isn't colon cancer rare? No, it's not rare at all. In the U.S., it's the third most common cancer death for both men and women. Now, this is personal for us. As you know, our son Markham was diagnosed a year ago, and he's doing fine. You know, he's going through what he needs to go through. He's being very positive. He just inspires us every day with his energy on what he's doing. He's actually joined forces with Fight CRC, a nonprofit organization that is an advocacy group for putting the word out on early stage colorectal cancer, CRC. So
and early stage detection.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. And we've been to some of their events, and to hear these young men and women, and I mean 29, 32, 18, that have colon cancer, it's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
Well, if you're new here, I'm Mark, and this is my wife, Jody.
And we don't focus on the financial aspects of retirement, but rather your lifestyle, your relationships, your health, and more.
So do us a favor. If you are enjoying this video and other videos, please share them with someone that you really care about, who's on your same journey as you, and would really benefit from hearing what Jody and I have to say.
You know, yesterday I was playing in my ladies' golf league, and given that our son Markham was diagnosed a year ago, a lot of the ladies that I'm seeing now for the first time are asking about him. How's he doing? What's happening? Some of the newer ladies in the golf league emphasized that they had colorectal cancer in their family.
Really?
And disheartening to me, each of their stories ended with, and then that person died. And it's very difficult to hear and to understand, and it made me feel, you know, very sad. However, knowing that science has changed a lot, early detection has helped so much. What we know about our food is helping so much. What we know about early warning signs, which is what we're trying to get out to you guys today, is helping so much. I was sad, and then I kind of fought that away by thinking that's not going to be us, because we're going to stay on top of this.
And his positive attitude is helping a lot, and that's a big part of any kind of disease that you get, any sickness that you have, is, you know, this power of positive thinking, just staying positive about it and having that kind of energy that you put out to people in the universe, and then it comes back. So, you know, not our greatest story of what's happening with Markham, but we are advocates now for early detection of colon cancer. Before we jump into more deeper discussion about your poop, there's a free download, and this is really great. It's a 3-page document, and it's from the Fight CRC colon cancer organization. It's the fact sheet, and it's got 10 facts and stats that are really worth downloading and reading so you get a better handle on what it is we're talking about today. Now, we are not doctors. We have no medical experience in this, but we have parental experience and, loving, thoughtful, kind research that we've done that we're going to share with you today. Now, again, we were talking about poop. Some of what we're going to talk about is pretty graphic in nature, and we just want you to know that ahead of time. But the first thing that you need to think about or be aware of is persistent abdominal discomfort. Now, we've all had stomach aches.
Yep.
We've all had diarrhea. We've all had, cramps in our stomach. For Markham, he actually thought he had appendicitis.
Yeah.
And he went to a couple of different doctors and, after some testing and all that, that's not what it was. So, ongoing pain, cramps, or gas really can be an early sign of colon cancer.
Yeah, I would say, frequent stomach pain. So not just stomach pain, one day, but frequent, persistent stomach pain, cramps that last more than a few days, this feel of being bloated all the time and the discomfort that comes with that. And after you've gone through a myriad of over-the-counter meds, if none of that works, it's time to go see someone.
Markham has met people who have had this, called their doctor. Doctor said, I don't know what they've said. Just take
There's
some
a stomach bug going
Pepto-Bismol or
around.
a stomach bug.
Yeah.
No, you have to be your own advocate.
Right.
The second thing to be aware of is change in bowel habits.
Right. A significant change in bowel movements can indicate a problem, either diarrhea or constipation lasting for weeks. A change in your stool consistency, narrower stools than before, that might show that, the colon is blocked in different areas. This feeling of an incomplete bowel evacuation. So you go to the bathroom and then you get up and you're like, still feel like I have to go some more, but I can't.
Yeah.
These are all indications
Or
of bowel changes.
Yeah, or you maybe you just said that. Frequently needing to go to sit on the toilet, but nothing happens.
Right.
Is that what you just said?
Well, I was talking about that feeling of an incomplete.
Yeah. Or you feel like you have to go, but nothing happens. Now, a big sign, a clear sign, is blood in your stool. So that's probably one of the most alarming signs that needs immediate attention. So yes, after you poop, you should look at it.
Right.
You should get up and look at it. And if you see red blood in the toilet or dark, tarry-looking stools, or when you wipe yourself and you have blood on the toilet paper, that's a big warning sign. That,
Right.
it could be hemorrhoids. But then again, it could be something else. And if it's hemorrhoids, you probably feel it. But even a small amount of blood is really concerning and enough to really get a hold of your doctor.
Right. And for the most part, that is a true catalyst for getting yourself on the colonoscopy list.
Right.
Like even getting away from early screening and going right to colonoscopy. If you have blood in your stool,
Right.
you should be able to get your doctor to prescribe a colonoscopy.
Right.
The next one is unexplained weight loss. So sudden weight loss without even trying can be a big red flag. Losing weight without changing your diet or increasing your exercise. Your clothes are just a little looser. You don't really have much of an appetite and you feel full very quickly. Those are all signs that something is going on.
Yeah, so pay attention to that. Don't just think, oh, great, I lost 10 pounds in the last month. If you've never lost 10 pounds in a month before, something could be going on, so pay attention to it.
Absolutely.
Another warning sign is weakness or fatigue. Now, we've all woken up and felt tired, or we feel weak, or we might have a little fatigue. But if there is a feeling of being tired all the time, a shortness of breath, your energy levels are low, or needing more rest than usual, this is enough of a warning sign to call your doctor and say, I really want to get checked out.
Absolutely. And the next one is persistent bowel urgency. So that constant feeling of needing to pass a stool can also be a sign. That urge to use the bathroom or feeling like you need to go right after you just had a bowel movement. If you have a difficulty passing your stools, you sit for a while, you strain. I mean, I know it sounds graphic and you can probably picture it in your head and it's not the best thing to talk about on a video. But that feeling of incomplete evacuation is a sign that something could be going wrong.
Okay, now, number 7, iron deficiency anemia. So colon cancer can cause bleeding leading to anemia. So you've really got to pay attention to this. And this is, again, something only your doctor can figure out for you. But frequent fatigue, pale skin, shortness of breath, dizziness, cold hands and feet, that's an indication that your iron deficiency is down and you need to get it looked at.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so what are some steps that everyone who's watching this can do as a guide to stay on top of this?
Well, the first thing I would tell you is monitor your symptoms. We're always big fans of writing things down. If you know something isn't feeling right, keep a health diary. How are you doing? How are you feeling? And then the third thing would be schedule regular checkups with your doctor and be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the big thing. We talk to people that either avoid the doctor or schedule with the doctor, but they don't really tell them everything. Things like, how many glasses of wine a week do you have? And people always say 2. And, if your best friend was sitting in the room, would they be doubled over laughing, saying 2? Are you kidding me? That's 2 a night.
I think that's a good point. Be honest about what you're eating, what you're drinking, and how you're feeling.
And what's happening when you poop.
When you poop, yeah.
So, I mean, it's important.
So discuss all these changes with the doctor. That's number 4. Number 5, follow recommended screening guidelines that are in this document. So download this document and read it. It's really, really helpful to share with. And if you're our age and you have young children in their 20s or 30s, they need to know about this.
Well, the other thing I would say about that, stay abreast of the changing screening guidelines because they are trying to start to push them
45 now, I think.
Yeah, it was 50.
Yeah, now it's
45.
And
they're trying to make it 40 and then 35.
Fight CRC says it should be 25.
Right.
And you can actually get one done yourself, I think, and pay for it. And I think we found out it's $1,200, which is a lot. It is a lot. But if you have any of these symptoms or problems, you need to do that. So follow the guidelines. And number 6, make sure you're eating a healthy, balanced diet. Number 7, stay physically active. That is so important. We're big fans of being active. Number 8, avoid smoking and excessive alcohol. Both of those will alter your body's makeup and chemistry and give cancer a bigger chance in your body.
I think it's also important, number 9, know your family history. Do you have colorectal cancer in your family? We did not.
No, we didn't.
I mean, as far back as we could go, we did not. No. But this happened anyway. And stay informed about colon health and what's happening out there with new legislation and some new rules.
Right.
So your daily choices will shape your health. Understanding and adjusting harmful habits can be your first line of defense against colon cancer.
Don't ignore any of these warning signs. You really want to take charge of your health today. Schedule a checkup if you haven't had one in a while, and pay attention if you notice any of these symptoms. Now, this next video, 10 habits that cause colon cancer. We want you to watch this one too, if you haven't seen it yet. This is where you can take control of your health with lifestyle assessment screenings and proactive healthy habits. So watch this one next.